Hey guys, it's Alexandra from iloveknots.com. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do a long tail cast on for knitting. I'm using a pair of H8 5mm knitting needles and some WeCrochet Swish Yarn, which is 100% superwash merino wool. This method works with any weight yarn and the respective size knitting needles. There are different ways you can cast on. This is my preferred method. The long tail cast on counts as the first row, so if you choose a different method, it may or may not have the same height. So for the long tail cast on, you want to leave a long tail first because that's what you're going to use to create your first row to do your cast on. And if you run out of stitches here, then you have to take it out and leave a longer tail. I'm only doing a small sample, so I'm not going to leave my tail too long. But then I'm going to create my slip knot. So I have the tail here on the right. I have the yarn over my fingers, and then the working yarn continues past that. I'm going to take the yarn, wrap it around my index finger 2 times. And then I'm going to hold the tension with my thumb and my middle finger. Take the loop that's on the left, pull it up over the other one, but not off my finger. Take the other loop that's on the left now, pull it up over the other one and off my finger. Then I'll take my knitting needle and I'll insert it into the loop where my finger is at. Hold the working yarn in your right hand, the tail end on your left, and pull on the tail end. It'll tighten this knot up to normal tension. Here on the top we have the working yarn from the ball. Here on the bottom we have the tail end. On the right side, I'm going to hold that loop with my index finger so that that loop and the other loops that I put on it don't fall off the needle. I knit continentally, that is the style of knitting. That means I hold my yarn in my left hand and in almost the same way that I hold it when I'm crocheting. I am a crocheter first, so this was the easiest way for me to transition over. I also hold my yarn a little bit differently, and that is so my left hand doesn't cramp up. That is how I'm going to put it on my left hand. So if you already know how to knit or you crochet, hold the yarn in your left hand like you normally do. But I'm going to take my ring finger and I'm going to slide it underneath that top strand. So that it is under my pinky, over my ring finger, under my middle finger. Then I'm going to take those 3 fingers and I'm going to fold them under. Now my index finger and thumb are in an L shape. I'm going to pinch them together and put them underneath the 2 strands. They're still in that L shape. They're just now underneath those 2 strands. I'm going to take my pinky, ring finger, and middle finger and I'm going to reach down and I'm going to pick up that yarn strand from the bottom that is now underneath my palm. So looking at it, it's right here still. I want to put that into those fingers. Still keeping this L shape. So quick recap. I have the yarn strand here from the top. Index finger and thumb are underneath the 2 strands coming from the needle in an L shape. And then the bottom strand is also captured underneath my pinky and my ring finger. Making sure I'm holding tension here, I'm going to flip my left hand so that it is mirrored. I'm going to bring my needle to my palm, bring it into that hole where my thumb is, picking up that bottom strand. Then I'm going to rotate my left hand counterclockwise, bring that needle to the right around that top strand, picking it up, rotate my left hand clockwise, bring the needle down through the same hole where my thumb is, and now on my needle you're going to notice there are 2 stitches. Hold those 2 stitches, release my thumb so the loop falls off. I'm going to replace my thumb underneath the strand that's right underneath the stitches on my needle. And then I'm going to pull down with my thumb. And as I do that, I'm going to rotate my hand back to the L position. And by pulling downward on that strand, you're tightening up the top loop. Now I'm in the L position again. I'm going to flip my left hand so it's mirrored. Bring the needle towards my palm, up through the hole where my thumb is, picking up the bottom strand. Rotate my left hand counterclockwise. Bring the needle to the right around that top strand, picking it up. Rotate my left hand clockwise. Bring the needle down through the hole where my thumb is. I now have 3 stitches on my needle. Release my thumb. Loop falls off. Replace my thumb under the strand underneath my stitches. And in the same motion, return my left hand to the L shape and pull downward with my thumb. You might run out of finger room. Just reposition your hand and continue until the stitch on the top is the same height as all the rest. You don't want it too tight, you're going to be working into that, but you want it to be all consistent. Hold my stitches on my right hand needle, flip my left hand so it's mirrored. If at any point here you feel like it's too tight, just release some yarn from your fingers so you have enough to work with. Take my needle towards my palm, up through the hole where my thumb is, picking up that bottom strand. Rotate my hand counterclockwise. Bring the needle around the top strand, picking it up. Rotate my hand clockwise. Bring the needle down through the hole where my thumb is. I now have 4 stitches on my needle. Release my thumb, loop falls off. Replace my thumb under the bottom strand where my stitches are. Return to L position while pulling downward with my thumb so that the loop that's on my hook tightens to normal tension. And that's how we do the long tail knitted cast on. I'm just working a small sample here to show you how to do the stitches, so I'm just going to put on a couple more stitches. Alright, I worked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stitches. That's what I'm going to have for my sample today. Guys, thanks so much for watching my tutorial. You'll find free crochet and knitting patterns, reviews, giveaways, and so much more at iloveknots.com. Please smash that like button and hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.